Did you know that when you step aboard that gleaming aircraft for your next vacation, there is a good chance the airline whose logo is painted on the tail doesn't actually own the plane? This might sound impossible, but it's a reality that affects nearly every flight you take. Imagine discovering that half of all commercial aircraft flying today belong to companies you've never heard of. Invisible giants operating in the shadows of the aviation industry. This hidden world of aircraft leasing has quietly transformed how we travel. It's creating a $208 billion global ecosystem that's projected to reach over $400 billion by 2033. Yet, most passengers never realize it exists, which eventually became part of AerCap today. It's a global market leader with over 1,900 aircraft in its portfolio, spanning hundreds of airlines worldwide. This wasn't just a business idea. It was the foundation of an entirely new industry that would reshape aviation forever. A piece of legislation that sent shockwaves through the entire aviation industry. Optimize routes for profitability and operate without government safety nets. New airlines emerged with ambitious plans, but limited capital, creating the perfect storm that would make aircraft leasing not just attractive, but absolutely essential for survival. With Irish companies controlling approximately 50% of the global aircraft leasing market, the country hosts more than 30 major leasing companies, making Dublin the undisputed capital of this invisible aviation empire. Aircraft leases operate under what's called dry lease agreements, whether it's the tragic Malaysia Airlines flights, Lion Air incidents, or other aviation disasters. Investigations focus on the operating airline. Subscribe to Minecrafted and hit the notification bell to explore the fascinating systems operating behind the scenes of everyday life. It's not the lessor. Because the airline maintains full operational responsibility exactly as if they owned the plane outright. Share your thoughts in the comments below. We love hearing your perspectives on these hidden business ecosystems that connect our modern world, where the airline renting the plane maintains complete responsibility for maintenance, operations, and safety compliance. Before this landmark law, airline fares and routes were heavily regulated by the government. But airlines received subsidies that essentially guaranteed their profits. Competition was minimal, and financial risk was practically non-existent. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on this fascinating industry that keeps our skies moving, staring at a daunting challenge that would make anyone's head spin. Your airline needs to transport 180 million passengers next year across 300 destinations. Leasing a plane typically costs between $400,000 to $1 million monthly, depending on the aircraft type. While this might seem expensive, consider the alternative. Financing a $116 million Airbus A321 over 20 years would cost approximately $150. $160 million after interest payments, requiring 1.6 million flights. But your current fleet of 1,000 aircraft simply isn't enough. Avoiding complex depreciation calculations and massive balance sheet liabilities, more importantly, they can focus their capital and expertise on what they do best: marketing, customer service, and flight operations, while leaving asset management to specialists who understand the intricate world of aircraft values and maintenance cycles. You need approximately 250 new planes. And here's where the math becomes terrifying. When airlines can't afford their own fleet, nearly half the U.S. rate, plus streamlined depreciation rules and comprehensive tax treaties with over 70 countries, these strategic advantages have transformed Ireland into an aviation leasing powerhouse, saving companies millions annually while positioning the small island nation at the center of global air travel. Picture yourself as the chief operating officer of a major airline. Single narrow-body aircraft costs around $100 million, while wide-body jets can exceed $350 million. Do the multiplication, and you're relooking at a $29 billion invoice. Money that no airline has lying around in their checking account. No matter how successful their frequent flyer program might be, the birth of an industry nobody talks about. The story begins in 1973, when three enterprising immigrants recognized a golden opportunity hiding in plain sight. Working as aircraft brokers, they witnessed airlines struggling with the enormous financial burden of purchasing expensive wide-body aircraft. Their solution was revolutionary yet simple: create a company that would buy planes and rent them to airlines. It's just like you might lease a car instead of buying one. They founded the International Lease Finance Corporation, the game-changing moment of 1978. Everything changed with the Airline Deregulation Act of 1978. Suddenly, airlines were thrown into a free market arena, where they had to compete for passengers. The economics that make perfect sense, the financial logic behind aircraft leasing becomes crystal clear when you break down the numbers. With leasing, airlines can write off monthly payments as operating expenses. Ireland's surprising dominance in the sky here is a fact that might surprise you. Over 60% of the world's leased aircraft are managed from Ireland. Ireland offers a corporate tax rate of just 12.5% for this industry. Your safety isn't compromised by this hidden system. You might wonder whether this complex ownership structure affects your safety as a passenger, and the answer is reassuringly simple. It doesn't. Under international aviation law, leasing companies are generally protected from liability in accidents, unless they have direct operational control, which rarely happens. Ready to discover more hidden industries that shape our world? What surprised you most about this invisible aviation industry? Have you ever wondered who really owns the planes you fly on?